Hi, this is Tiffany Fykes with the Fykes Realty Group, and we have been dealing with a lot of estate sales, which means an estate owns a property and the people who have inherited it or are managing the estate have to decide what to do with it. And it's a very complex process, and so I thought it might be helpful to all of you who may at some point be in the same situation to understand what is an estate sale, how does it work, why is it different than other sales, and what matters. So, number one, paperwork, the legal paperwork. This is a sale that there must be a qualified heir. So there's a couple of ways that this can happen. How do you figure this out? We've had a neighbor be the person who was legally able to sell. We've had a court be the person who was legally able to sell. We've had lots of siblings. We've had multiple heirs to deal with. So you need to figure out what's the legal situation. Now, I am not an attorney, so I am not going to advise you on that, but it's simple things like if somebody dies without a will, there is a process, a court process that we can recommend attorneys to you to get through. But that happened to us in our family. Joshua's father passed away without a will. And so we had a court proceeding, a probate period that we had to go through before we could do anything with the estate. So that's one way. Another way, there might be a will. And the will needs to be validated. Now, one of the things that we like to do is we like to have our title attorney, before anything gets started, look at it. And we've learned that the hard way. We have a buyer and we have a contract, and then all of a sudden the title attorney looks at everything and says, oh, wait, there are 8 different heirs that need to sign off on this sale now. It seemed like this one person can make a decision, but actually we're going to need all 8 of them. So we like to get those questions of legal, can you sell this property? Are you the person who can do that? Or even make decisions to keep the property, because we've had that as well, where somebody wants to keep it, but the court has required that it has been sold in order to settle someone's estate. So number one, which is not our job, but we will point you to the attorneys who can help you do that, is who is legally able to make decisions on this property. So number 2, a game plan. That is where we are able to help a lot. There's a few different ways that you can sell it. You can sell the house as is. You can do renovations, even just light renovations. You can do total remodels. We've done that in all different situations. And so what we advise on is, how are you going to maximize your return, as well as how much time and energy do you want to put into it? Now, at Fykes, we have a plan where we handle all of that for you. Our last estate situation, we did some renovations. We managed the contractor. We did all of those things. The heir never even came to Nashville. And so we handled all of that. She made more money at the end because we only made renovations that helped net her more money. And there was no hassle to her because we handled it. But sometimes people just don't want to deal with it. Or sometimes it might make sense to keep it. I'm super passionate about at least considering, is this a rental property for you? Now, if there are 8 heirs, you probably don't want to do that. But if it is a more cut and dry situation where one person ends up with the house and you've wanted to have rental property, we'll help you analyze it. Because every house is not worth keeping. But there are some that are great rental properties. And so we'll help you make a plan. Do we sell it as is? Do we want to do some renovations? Do you want to keep it long term? That's where we advise. And then number 3 comes to, most estate situations come with a lot of stuff. We have had experience with a lot of different families, a lot of different situations, ranging from the kids want all the stuff to nobody wants to take anything. And how do you manage it? There are things like estate sale companies, which we have great recommendations for that. There are some that are flat fee, some that take a percentage, and sometimes it just comes to some of this stuff, like the kids take all the really valuable things, and then there's just paperwork. And I know when we were cleaning out Joshua's father's house, there was magazines and things that we just didn't want, and so we got those hauled off. So we have recommendations for people that do that as well. But generally, the process is, okay, legally, we need to figure out what's going on. All right, what are we going to do with the stuff? But we've already made a game plan first, and then we actually execute the stuff, and then we start the renovations, get it on the market, prep it for rent, whatever that plan is that you are going to execute with that property. Now, number 4 is you need to make sure if you have an estate situation that you have someone checking on it. That might be you. You might be in town and able to do that, but you don't want a house sitting vacant for too long without someone checking on it. Or that might be with our estate plan, we will do that as well. So we'll manage the repairs, we'll check on the property periodically so that, if it's winter like we just are ending, the pipes aren't bursting. And if it's the summer, is the grass getting mowed appropriately? Does it look vacant or does it look cared for? So making sure someone's checking on it, because a lot of estate situations are managed from people far away. And that's why we offer this service. And here's the other thing. If you're in Nashville and you have an estate somewhere else to deal with, still reach out to us, because we're connected with real estate agents like-minded as us. We'll interview them for you. We can help you get connected to the right agent in whatever area you own a home in an estate situation. And then number 5, that's what I want to say. We can connect you with people all across the country. If you are across the country or if you are in town, we can help you go through those first 4 steps of, all right, what's the paperwork? What's the legal stuff that needs to happen? What's the game plan? Now let's execute it. How are we going to manage the stuff and really create that timeline to either get it on the market quickly if you want to, or maximize money, which there's no wrong answer. It's just about your goals. And sometimes you're just not ready to sell it. And that's fine too. Like, we've had people who have moved properties in 30 days from owning them, like getting them in an estate. And we've walked with people for years as they slowly process through all the things and all the memories, because you're handling a lot if you're emotionally invested in this property. And it's a big job, and being the executor is hard, and rarely is it paid for in the estate. And so we're just here to help lighten your load. And whether that property is in Nashville or across the country, we can help connect you with the right people to make the best decision for yourself.